Hello, everyone. This is Mosaf Afkar, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of your divine uniqueness. Thank you so much for your presence, for co-creating this call today, whether you are here with us live or later on the replay. And yeah, so very excited that Cathleena Hailley is back on the show. The last time I think it was last year, during spring maybe, and yeah, she joined us several times, and um, I think many of you already know her work and how powerful it is. I really love like how deep she can goes into describing and also explaining um, like the process we are going through, the awakening or ascension, and also how can we come back to the center, to the 0 point, and then create from that state of being, because it's there when everything really um, when things really happen and really are created in alignment with our heart and soul essence. So yeah, so very excited that she's back. And today's call will be about restoring the original soul fragmentation imprint. So yeah, she will be sharing about that, what is soul imprints, the 0 points, and how to experience that in our daily life, and how also it is connected to our body. And then she will do a group healing process for us. So that will be really powerful. So stay tuned for it. And then after that, we will start the Q&A where we take your questions. And Cathleena will be answering your questions. So if you want to talk to her later, you can raise your hand by pressing reactions, then raise hand on Zoom app. You can press *9 on your phone to raise your hand. And also you can type your questions on Zoom and also on YouTube chat. And yeah, so for those of you who are new to her, she is a spiritual healer and frequency alchemist. And yeah, so with that, Cathleena, welcome back to the show. Happy to have you with us today.
Yeah, thank you, Monsef. It's always wonderful to be with you. I love your energy and your audience. So thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to be on the Zoom because normally we've been just on audio. So this is a
Yeah. It's been many years. I've been doing only audio, but yeah,
yeah.
since last year, it's been video. So, and
Nice.
it's a great experience. So, yeah.
Mhm.
So, would you like maybe share in the beginning, just briefly, a little bit about your work, your healing work?
Yeah, sure. Um, well, I guess what wanted to come through today is just to give a little background if for those that don't know me. I am considered a frequency alchemist, so I carry original source codes of creation, activated source codes of creation. How I chose to incarnate is also a calibrator. So when you're in the energetic field with me, there's a calibration that's taking place, geometric calibration towards the 0 point or towards present moment awareness or energetic awareness for you. Um, my, I guess, mission, if you will, here is to, because I am also one of the original seeders of this planet, and I'm very aware of the seeding of the false matrix. And so my consciousness is not from this dimensionality. I can look at the whole creation of this matrix. And so through that, has been lots and lots of levels of entanglement, quantum entanglement. And what quantum entanglement is, if you don't know, is when you forget that you're source consciousness having this experience and you become that. So it'd be like if I forget that I'm source having an experience called Cathleena, I become Cathleena instead. Who have I become? And so that's really the levels of quantum entanglement. And so what my consciousness is aware of is all of the different levels of the quantum entanglement. So I, through activations, and activations that I use a lot of light language, mudras, hand gestures, different things because I'm moving geometries and energies to disentangle, let's say, this quantum entanglement that's taken place. So I think that's sort of the easiest way to bring. I mean, there's so much information that's coming through as I'm looking at a lot of the entanglement that's taking place right now. There's an amplification of the 5G frequencies, and so because we are energy and frequency, and everything is energy and frequency, there's like this massive energetic interference that's taking place. So it's really interesting, and it's important to be on these types of calls. And like, I don't know that you guys all realize your participation, of course, in this. And as we step into this field and the entanglement begins to come unentangled, this is actually moving through this medium as well. So we're actually bringing this source consciousness through this medium to anyone who is connected to it, because that's where, you know, this interference is coming from. That just wanted to come through, so I'm going to kind of start with that.
Yeah. Wonderful. And yeah, so as you were talking, you mentioned like how we are disentangling from the matrix and connecting back to our original blueprints or our essence. And many times when we talk about matrix, it feels like we have this maybe rebellious energy that we feel there is control. We want to rebel on it, or we feel like there is some kind of victimhood that's there is control over us or manipulation. But from your message, like from the past calls, I feel that the way you approach that is that you invite us to connect to our sovereignty, to our true power. And from that point, the effects of the matrix dissolves. So I would love if you can talk more deeply about that.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no victimizer energetics. I mean, it exists because we're participating in it, but we're prime creator, we're source consciousness in physical form. And, you know, so we're really talking about the 0 point. And so I'm sure many of you have heard the term 0 point, and what it is it's the place of no thing and all possibilities. So it's the authentic present moment without judgment. And by the way, today's course is about releasing the frequency of judgment. So this is going to be perfect for what the energetics is here. So, you know, where most people is in what I call the false neutrality, which is the place of nothingness. And that is, I got my feet on the floor, I'm looking at my eyes, I'm in my room, I'm in my head. And so in my head, the physical brain is just like a computer, and it only has what we put in it and what we're taking in, and we're taking in and feeding it information from our senses, our 5 senses. Particularly the eyes are huge because the eyes are the windows of the soul. They're master computers, so they're taking in lots of information, but also a lot of sound that's going on inside. And so that's where we are guided via the false matrix to participate is in the head. But the authentic present moment, which is the 0 point, is when I'm in my heart space. So when I'm literally in the present moment, I got my feet on the floor, I'm looking at my eyes, I'm in my room, and I'm literally in my room. And when I'm at that literal present moment, it's not nothing, it's the no thing and all possibilities. I'm literally one with everything. I am my multidimensional self. I am prime creator in physical form. And so, quite literally, if every human on the planet suddenly really went into that 0 point, stay there, the false matrix would dissolve. Because see, we are engaged in it. So you want to think about it like, and the idea of this matrix is that it is a hologram vision of what your life is. And so you have a projection. You don't realize that you are both the projector and the movie maker, but you think you're watching it and that you don't have choices, but that's not true. You're projecting that. You don't realize that you're doing that. And you're doing that because you're observing. And so we've been taught to react to what we think is the outside world instead of create. We are creator beings, literal creator beings. We create from our thought and our emotion. Quite literally, every single thought comes out of your head as a geometric shape. And that thought is the blueprint of your creation. It's the mental masculine, it's the paper. And then you add an emotion to that. The emotion is a frequency. It's the fuel. It's the spiritual feminine. It's the person in the pencil. So you take a thought, you add an emotion, you hold it 14 seconds or longer. It moves into what's called the unified field, or that 0 point. It finds a match to that frequency, goes out into the universe and comes back in your reality. So if I'm quite literally having repetitive thoughts, the same thoughts, and I'm keeping the same energy, frequency, emotion to that, then I'm always in survival mode and reaction mode. I'm never, ever creating. And so this is the design of the false matrix. It's to give you something that you think is your reality, your limits and limitations, and then you are now reacting to it. So you're staying in it. Well, from a geometric perspective, if you could imagine that we are, energy and frequency, and those that have listened to me, I talk about it like, if you think of source consciousness, God, if you will, as like this giant library of information, and you are a smaller library of the giant library, and so am I, but we're unique to each other. And this library of information, this collective of books, if you will, is your soul. But it's also like, it's geometry. So, and think of geometry as just like circles, squares, triangles, so on. And, what you can't see, through your physical eyes, and, just how like texts go across, the ether and end up in your phone. Well, that's geometry. So there's a geometric energetic going on, and that we are that. We're everything is interconnected. That is the law of one. There is nothing disconnected. No thing is disconnected from anything else. But we have this illusion of this disconnect through our limits and limitations. And so if you realize that, through your reacting to something, your thought in it, you're the one creating it. We are the creators, literally, of our reality. So we are the creators of this matrix, and how we are doing it from a geometric perspective is that your energy literally is plugged in. So if you imagine it like a big grid, almost like if it were a sort of a fence, so to speak, a grid fence, and how that grid is created is through you. You're literally plugged into it, and you don't realize that you're plugged into it, creating it. And you're creating it by your belief systems, by your thoughts, by your limitations. So when you drop into that unknown, you disengage from it, it no longer exists. And from that perspective, then we can now create. And with, even as it exists, this is the power of your creation in this now moment, which is really super important, because there's a lot of things going on in the world, and you may think that you have to deal with this and react to it, but you're the creator. So you don't have to in that way if you disengage from it. And it doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to dissolve, but remember, I'm not going to attach to it, because that's the quantum entanglement, is when I become it. I'll go back to, that's when I forget that I'm actually source consciousness having an experience called Cathleena. I have become. So what is the experience based on my library of information? So you want to start thinking of yourself as like a puzzle piece in this giant quantum field. But you're not a flat puzzle piece. You're a spherical moving puzzle piece. And so as you let go, as you be yourself, which is going to be different from anybody else. So that's the irony too, is we're taught, find and be like somebody else. You are not like anyone else. And so you don't have to find your uniqueness, because if you try to find your uniqueness, you're separating. There's a separation there. But if I simply discover through my own experience who I am, and I show up as me, then I am beautifully synergistically aligning with all things, in alignment with who I am, and in alignment with this giant quantum field that is that beautiful library of information that's meant to have connectedness to everything and everyone. So this is this idea of that, I'm not a victim of anything. I'm not, and so what happens is that we've had many, many different lifetimes, many people, some are brand new, but most have had many different lifetimes. And because time is not linear, time is spherical, those lifetimes are as alive today as they were at whatever time. And until you bring back the soul fragmentation bring back that part of self that's still in the belief system of whatever that timeline is, it's still playing out. And that's the idea of plugging into the matrix on those other levels. And so that's why it's like that continual dropping. That's why there's layers upon layers. And that's why people will say, oh my gosh, I'm doing this over and over again. It never goes away. Well, that's because we're multidimensional, and there's so many layers and layers and layers, upon things that are going on. But the more that you can drop into that present moment, and so I've said this a lot, this is really easy and really hard at the same time. But the easy part is let go and be present. Hard part is let go and be present, right? And so you want to start thinking about yourself as just, we're all just like kids on the playground. And so it's almost like, despite the belief system that's going to continually go, well, I can't just do this and I can't just go do that. Well, the thing is that you want to bring it home to right here, okay? Because the body's everything. This is the millionaire. This is the relationship. Everything is right here, because whatever this body is vibrating as is what I'm sending out the message and coming back. So, we could have, a story of like, oh my God, I don't know where my money's coming from. Or I could say, well, I don't know. I don't have any idea. And I can be in that present moment where I'm just kind of like, well, I don't really know. And so it's a difference in the frequency, a difference in the energy. And from that place, if I remember the creative process, and then I can go, well, if I don't know, then anything can happen. I could win the lottery. I could get inheritance. Somebody could give it to me. And so what happens is, in that place, this is where I say, if the ego finds its placement in a good way, which is, this is the ego's self here. And so the placement is that she lets go and realizes that there is a higher consciousness that knows exactly why I'm here. So when I let go and go, well, I'm squeezing my brain and it's not working and I can't get anything out of it. And so instead of being in that tension and that which is creating, then I just let go. I go in that 0 point. I expand to my pure consciousness. Then this being can hear the guidance system, can connect to the natural guidance system of why we're here, who we are. And this has certainly been my journey to discover who I am and how I got here and where I'm here communicating with you. It's this, that's the real awakening, is like, okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? And start noticing things, like simple things too, like when I'm around another person, am I in my head, or am I actually present? And if you're not actually present, practice that. Start to notice, why am I dialoguing in my head while I'm standing here with this person? Because that is all energy and frequency, and it's continuing to create, most likely in ways that you're not desiring. So that's all taking you out of the 0 point. So it's becoming the witnessing observer of you. Because this is where, and this is everything that I do, the whole restoring the original soul fragment and releasing the imprint in this series that we're going to be talking about is all related to this. Because, when we come into this life, we come in, of course, we come through the veils of illusion, so we forget, and we come through family and lineage of things we participated in before. So there's this, what we're dealing with is this, power and vulnerability energetics. That's really what we're dealing with in this lifetime. And so what we're attempting to step into is authentic power and authentic vulnerability. What we've been playing is inauthentic power and inauthentic vulnerability. So the inauthentic power is something greater or less than something else. Authentic power is, there's nothing greater than that I am, because I'm source consciousness. And inauthentic vulnerability is a weakness or a fear. Authentic vulnerability is, it is what it is, I am what I am. So what we're attempting to step into is the authentic power and authentic vulnerability, which is, there's nothing greater than that I am. It is what it is, I am what I am. So imagine that you're a child and you start out this way, if you're oblivious basically to your surrounding. And so, and the example would be of the soul fragmentation is, say I'm a little girl and I'm playing in the dirt and I'm having a great time, and somebody comes along and says, a girl doesn't do that. Well, then I suddenly stop and I go into a place of like stiffness or freezing up. And so basically what I've done is I've taken away my freedom, my ability of freedom, and now I'm becoming conscious in the way of the human observer, like I am now in fear. So now I'm in a different level of the game of power and vulnerability. I'm seeing it. Somehow I've got this energy. And so how that will play out in my reality is that even like later in life, say I go to create a career, I'm not going to pick something that's of my heart. I'm going to pick something practical, because now I'm driven into a place of my mind is telling me, my heart is not telling me. And, and this is also a big piece about the false matrix, or the inverted matrix, is has our communication system backwards. So we have our communication that we're, sitting in the brain communicating to the heart, instead of the heart communicating to the mind, giving the information to the mind. Because the mind, you think of the mind as just a computer, right? But so in that case, what happened is that I, as my I am presence, if that's me, I'm suddenly feeling all those energies that are connected with that judgment that took place with me. And so at that moment, my soul fragments, part of myself fragments and imprints that it's not free, it's not safe, it's not, I can't be me. And so until I go and bring that fragment back and release that imprint, it's going to continue to play out. And so this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm here doing. And I'm not arbitrarily talking to you guys. I'm in your energetic field. I'm sure you're feeling a lot of different things because there's a lot going on. So I feel like I'm talking about a lot of things, but there's just a lot. This is a lot of energy that's coming forward.
Yeah, that was really powerful. I really loved what you mentioned, because like, how do we approach the 0 point, like especially from the false matrix, is, as you say, we feel like we will be losing our desires because we try to be out there, try to make sure everything will happen the way it should be. But then what happens is that because of it becomes harder and harder. So we fear that we will not receive what we want, and then we settle for less of what we deserve. But when we embrace that we are creator of our reality, then yeah, we approach it in totally different way.
Yeah, and the key to this, because I know people have a lot of questions about that, is you got to keep it really, really simple. This is why this gets bypassed, because it is very simplistic, yet very complicated, which the simplistic is bring it home, okay? Really, really notice, what am I doing to her? This is why this is all about self-love. It's like you got to imagine that, we've been programmed that somehow it's useful, that when I'm by myself, that me torturing myself, dialoguing whatever crap, whatever fear, whatever blah, 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 it doesn't even matter what your literal circumstances are. The fact that I am programmed to repeat them to myself, by myself, and bring in negative energy and fear to it is the key. Okay, because this is where we want to wake up. This is why we are programmed to play out major frequencies. And basically the three major frequencies that we're playing out are enslavement, imprisonment, and sacrifice. So we are enslaving ourselves within the limits and limitations of our belief systems. We are imprisoning ourselves within our mind. And then we're sacrificing ourselves. We sacrifice health for money. We sacrifice, our well-being all the time. We sacrifice for somebody else's opinion, which we don't even know. I've truly got to the point, I'm like, what you think of me is none of my business, quite literally, because all it does is cause me distress if I'm the one thinking anything negative. And humans are always thinking stuff like that. It doesn't matter. And they're flipping around with stuff because that's how we're programmed to do until we're not. So the practice is really forget about out here. And it's not that you won't be doing physical. You will be doing physical things, but you'll be doing physical things from your guidance system when you allow yourself to notice, what am I doing right here? Like, I have a practice that every morning when I wake up in the morning, I'm in bed and I'm laying there. Before I ever get up, I check out my body. I go deeper, and I really bring myself in. And my dialogue years ago used to be, please help me stay out of my own way. That's every morning, constantly. So I've kind of graduated from that. Now I'm like, let go of everything, everything, everything. And I remember when I was guided to say, let go of money, I was like, what? But what it really saying is, let go of anywhere in which you're holding right here, because that tension, that holding, that thought, that doing it is creating. Okay. And when it comes to like the physical body, and I preface, I am not a medical doctor, so I'm not doing any of that, but I will say that it's actually harder to keep disease in the body than it is to release it, because everything is in motion. And when this is why the matrix is set up this way, because it is guided to that perpetual same thought, same energy over and over and over again, so that you are in essence holding in energy and a frequency. Well, that holding in energy and frequency creates the destruction, the disturbances, everything within your life, within your body. It creates the matrix, but it creates the density, of what's in you. So, but as I just say, okay, and this is my controversial moment where I say it's for a lot, it's like suicide, but not suicide like killing yourself. It's suicide in the way of that surrender. Like I give up, and not a giving up, but I let go. In that sense of like, I just can't do this anymore. And then it's like, wow, how fantastic that we start to realize, wow, what have I been doing? Since, like, if that's my story, that I'm a little girl and I'm playing in the dirt, and say I'm 5 years old doing it. Well, since 5 years old until the time I actually let myself let go, I've been holding, and I've been creating that. And beyond that, in other lifetimes, and so on and so on, So it's all about, and it's about through divine breath. Breath is a consciousness. Water is a consciousness. Everything is consciousness. We are one with the earth. We're not on the earth. We are the elements. Okay. I mean, it's like, that's the law of one. So the more we can let go, and it's not just little you, when I let go, then I'm aligning to that letting go energy all across, and I'm providing that for the collective. It's really the biggest thing we can do for everyone, is that continual dropping into that heart space and letting go. But I can't emphasize enough about start here. What am I doing to her? I've gotten to the point that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for all the ways that I treated you. Whether, as a woman, I mean, we have so much self-dialogue and so many things. I'm sure men have too, but I know we do as women. And, to be able to wake up to that and go, wow, forgive me. I love you. What have I been saying? Because who are we saying it to? We're saying it to all those ages of ourselves. We don't even know that we're doing it until we just go, wow, okay, what am I doing? Why am I dialoguing all these limits and limitations and judgments and so on to myself? Okay, so this is the key, because the words are energy and frequency. Now, everything that I'm using is in the 0 point. I'm in the 0 point. I'm speaking to you in the 0 point. That's why there's so much energetic going on. And so that's the other practice. Language is designed to be aligned with the matrix. But if you speak from your heart, and how do you know the difference? The difference by manipulation. So 99%, if not 100% of conversations are manipulation. That is, I'm not just trying to say something, I'm trying to put something in you or take something from you. Well, what if I'm just genuinely speaking from my heart? That's another thing. If humanity practiced that, we wouldn't be creating the matrix anymore as well. So this is, again, it's all, as I said, it's, it can be very complicated because there's lots of energetics, but the simplistic part is just be you and speak from your heart and come from your heart. And most importantly, to yourself. Speak to yourself from your heart. This is where all this competition and judgment and all these different things, which are all parts of things that I help work with, is all part of the game. Think about that, right? Isn't it interesting that, like, even education, all that, we're taught to strive and to be different and better. But when you're better than somebody, nobody likes that. Right? And that's kind of the irony, right? It's like, oh, we're taught we're supposed to be better, but then you're like, yeah, but then oh, she thinks she's better than everybody. And it's a no-win that way. But when you realize that you are gifted and you do have a unique, beautiful, desired presence, and you let yourself become that and show up as that, divine abundance is your birthright, health and well-being, connectedness. It's just, it's magical. God, there's so much gratitude, energy that's here now. I feel a lot of emotion because it's so powerful. We have a very, very strong source presence here with us today, which is beautiful. And I'm carrying a lot of these frequencies, but it's the energetic. You guys are beautiful, amazing beings, and this is very, very profound and a powerful, awareness that's taking place here.
Yeah. Yeah, that was beautiful, and yeah, very, very empowering. I mean, yeah, I don't have comments on that because what you said on itself, it's really deep, and yeah, we just need to integrate that. So thank you for that. And
Yeah.
do you want to share something else, or is it time for the group process?
Yeah, we can move into a group process, or we can take questions, however you want to do it.
Or yeah, let's start with the questions.
Sure.
Right. So, Miriam, can you please unmute yourself?
Hi.
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 My question is with regards to my health, and the challenge came through a traumatic car accident. So there may be still some soul fragmentation from that, but really where it all came from, the root cause of continuing to being so challenged, health-wise, in relationship, even to family dynamics, and finding myself having to come back home and be with my family because everything was ripped out from under me. And yet that's a challenging environment. So I'm wanting to experience that level of divine love that opens my entire family up, if possible, to that sense of wholeness and wellness.
Mm-hmm. Well, what is the question that you're asking?
So how do I go from this place of feeling in a lot of pain and dis-ease and vulnerable, somewhat disempowered in my environment, to feeling that ease and that flow again, and empowered in a way that allows love for all?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a pushed way. It's
okay.
Does that help?
Okay. Well, I'm already moving into your energy. Yeah, well, let me work a little bit into your energetic field here. If you just want to close your eyes for a minute, I'm just going to move some energetics. Ako sa kita po mirare kita shuni umit mamuni kita ako sinita akala kanin mishumi na kon mena po dapat ako ma asponi sragin batakata. Aso kita mo mito pushmini ko amani kita ko timenda la ko te push amani kita la ka papas ninka din mishumi batis. Asmet medela kas ito ni mo pushmini batis papa. Close all portals, gateways, pathways, meridians, stargates, wormholes of any access to my energy, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum from my conscious, subconscious, and cellular memory. Take a deep breath. Okay, so I just moved some energetics from your field because there was some energetics and it was connected to like a closed brain injury, something like that. I don't know if that's what happened in the car accident, but there was some energetics there. So I just sort of moved some of that. What I feel in your energetics, I want you to take a breath, because speaking that, you opened that up again. So I'm gonna move that energetics again. Take a deep breath. So, because everything is energy and frequency, and we bring these things into our field, it's like, it feels like that there's a younger part of you that has not ever felt seen, heard, but and so I think that's why you brought in the accident into your energetic field. And I know we think that we don't bring these things in, but we are source consciousness. This is, where we are. And again, if anything doesn't resonate, throw it out. But if it does, feel it. But so it feels like that. And it feels like that it really is about everything we've been talking about. So the more that you can let go of the dialoguing that's taking place in your head and really just come from your heart, almost like take a risk, so to speak, because there is, because of the energy that you're keep aligning to within yourself. There's an energetic that you're aligning to, and that aligning to is like, I'm not capable, or I'm not something like that. There's those energetics you're aligning to, and then that creates the victim part. So if I instead, and I can feel you thinking, so I'm going to move that energy into your heart space. But if I instead just allow myself basically to be vulnerable and show up, that's really how that energetic begins to shift. I'd suggest that you have a session, because there's a lot more in this. And I will say that, part of what I didn't share here, but I have shared before, is that in order for us to shift the frequency that we're currently in, we have to own how it's serving me. So even if I don't think it's serving me, it is serving me in some way. So if I'm in a situation that I'm feeling is uncomfortable, and I'm thinking, I don't want this, well, the truth is, I'm source consciousness, I'm creating it. So my dialogue of sharing this is when I used to wake up in the morning and I would hear, you're such a failure. And so, I would race around, try to get things done, until one morning I woke up, and the practice is, you want to start to notice, what is my thought, what is my emotion, and more importantly, what is it doing to this vehicle? And so I noticed, what is my thought, I'm a failure, and the emotion connected to that. And I realized there was some comfort in that. And so I was like, oh, I didn't judge it. I just noticed it. I was aware of it, that I was comfortable in dialoguing that I was a failure. It was familiar. And so I was like, so now that I know the authentic frequency that I was creating, now I can ask myself, do I really want this or not? And I was like, no, I don't want that. So next day I wake up, it's still there, because it doesn't just go away. But now I can begin to say, well, I might not know what success is, but I know I don't want to feel this. And that's at the point that I now have disengaged from that familiar energy. And now I'm in the heart space, I'm in the unknown. And so what began to happen is I started to say, well, what really is failure, and what really is success, and what does this even feel like, and what is it, and whose voice is this, and what am I doing to myself? So this is kind of where your energy is. It's like, beginning to wake up to, like, what am I in? How have I brought this? If this is not what I really desire, then how can I just be in the unknown, and then begin to experience, who are really these people? How am I connecting to them? Am I connecting to them? What is the dynamic, from a present moment perspective? I hope that's helpful for you.
Well, I definitely appreciate what you did to help support me, and I'll listen again to take in more of to be able to be in that heart space, that vulnerability more easily, and yet at the same time be empowered.
Yeah, beautiful.
So thank you.
Mm.
You. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Maria. And yeah, thank you, Cathleena. I have a question from Stewart. Wow, thank you, Cathleena. For the first time, I realize what you are really saying and doing. one question. Do I understand it right that emotional patterns are due to misalignment with 0 point, and that diseases are also due to the misalignment, or that the relationship of carbon DNA with crystalline DNA is in misalignment? Or is your vision on emotion issues and our divine blueprint is different?
Well, there's a lot in there. Let me see if I can piece that out.
It's
So
toward the
yeah, so
top.
yeah, so the disease is created, it's a disease in the body, is created from not a misalignment necessarily, but so there's several things in there. First of all, emotions are not typically authentic. So, the original grid system carries the emotional frequencies of love, truth, beauty, and goodness, which is really what we are meant to feel and create, and all ranges of those. The grid system had been changed so that those authentic frequencies were not able to be felt. And so they were created by the collective belief system of them. That's why some people say love is money, or love is, sex, or love is, whatever, a car, because there's an identification. So that's part of that, is that the emotions are not authentic. So there is a frequency that we are holding all the time that is not authentic. So that's a part of it. That is definitely outside of the 0 point. That's all coming through the mind. When we drop into the heart space, the first thing is we begin to have the experience of what authentic emotions are. But because we don't have a point of reference, so to speak, with what they are, then there's this kind of shifting going on. So it goes from the heart space, I feel something, then I think it, then I feel it, and I think it. And where most people get stuck is in the thought of it. And then if the thought of it is in a place that now can attach to a negativity, then it unintentionally opens up a portal and more of that comes in. As more of that energy, that when you talk about the physical body, begins to create the distortions within the physical body. So that is also taking place. The original blueprint of us is our crystalline DNA. We are crystalline. We're moving from the carbon to the crystalline DNA. But the original DNA even is we're 12-strand DNA, and we've been down to 2-strand. The other strands are available, but they're not communicating. So through the process of restoring the original soul fragments, releasing the imprints, allowing for authentic emotions to be felt, we are in essence also awakening up our DNA. And think of DNA as a communication center. It's like an antenna. So and it's communicating to the body. We're communicating to the body. So, and I have shared this before, that, the way in which we engage in a physical reality is that we take this information called your soul, if you will, and we download it into the brain. And you want to think about, like your soul is like the software in a computer tells the computer what to do. So we download into the brain and think of the brain as a computer. And then we communicate to the body and think of the body as like a giant mall of people. So I'm either in synergistic communication or I'm not. And then whatever this is vibrating is now communicating outward and coming in. So I know that's kind of a big question that you asked there, but the sort of bottom line too is, as we stay in the 0 point, which is basically simplistically saying is I got my feet on the floor, I'm looking out my eyes, I'm literally in my room. It's brand new. When I think about it, we're all just kids on the playground. It's like a brand new moment, the first time here. When I am allowing that, and I then have authentic experiences, then from that perspective, now I'm the one that is communicating to my body in a place of authenticity. But there's many, 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 many layers and things that are to it. And so it's not just one thing. But the more the positive part of this too is if you are currently experiencing things within your physical body, the letting go of it is the key to this. We don't realize that we are engaging in it. We're holding it through emotions and belief systems. So but we're bringing it in for a purpose. So when we identify that to ourselves, then we have the opportunity to release it. So I hope that answered your question, Stuart. That was a lot.
Thank you. Beautiful answer. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking. I'm sure that that's a lot for a lot of people here. Yes, this is a big day today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Cathleena. And let's see. Yvette, can you please unmute yourself?
Hi, Monsef. Hi, Cathleena.
Hi.
Thank you for taking the call. I was wondering if I can get some support. September last year, I had surgery that I was told was going to be a certain, about 2 hours surgery, and it wound up being 4.5 hours, 5 hours. And so I was disoriented when I came out of the surgery. They stuck the tube, and when you're out, they just seem to jam it down your throat. So my throat was like, I could hear the anesthesiologist calling me, but I couldn't respond to her. And I was told that I won't be fully out, that as soon as the anesthesia started kicking in, that they would ask me to get to the edge of the bed. Well, I was passed out. And so they grabbed my legs and I guess yanked me to the edge of the bed. So I had these bruises on my legs, and it reverted me back to a trauma 20 years ago. And as a result of that, since that experience with that surgery, and I've got functional neurological disorder, so tremors, both in the right side of my arm and my legs, that I first had to use a walker to stabilize myself, and now I'm using a cane. I thought I dealt with the trauma. I didn't think of coming out of surgery that it would put me back in that place. I'm a vet, and I would hear about post-traumatic stress, but that was my first experience of reverting to a traumatic experience that's now impacting me physically.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely say have a session, but I can feel that there's a disconnect at the hips, like in the back and the spine. There's a disconnect energetically from the lower to the upper body. There's some energetics that are not connected. So we can see what we can do a little bit here to see if I can bring that in, but it does feel like it's a lot connected to really it's the through that area is this through the solar plexus is where I'm looking at it, and it yeah, you're very like rested into the lower part of the body, but the upper part of the body feels like it's just a lot of disconnect there. It's just a lot of energetic there that's disconnected. So let's see if we can just bring you a little bit more into balance, but I would say definitely try to come in for a session because I see a lot more going on. So if you want to close your eyes, take some deep breaths for just a minute. So move into your energetic field. Amochi chumisana que te mukuma apapala kosemeda la katimo asare que te misukmi la comida la kamasemeta por manasare que te mopisana kosh mina patema ko matare que mushmina la kilmon. Take some deep breaths. I keep hearing you're not alone. There's a big piece of you that feels very alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. That's a big piece. And so I'm actually pulling some energetics from the solar plexus that's going to bring some energy, open your crown, but I'm also pulling it down through, and I'm going to connect the upper and lower, connecting to the heart space. You've disconnected because of feeling so alone. And so I'm just really bringing this in. You're not alone. You're just not, you're not. You're not physically alone, even if you think you are. There are many that are available and around, but you're also not energetically alone. And you're not helpless, or this is not hopeless. Así koshim o palmete eroko asani bopapa a kostimem. I'm going to work. Is this the right hip? Is this where most of the stuff is in the right? Is it the right hip?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm working with that. I'm going to open up the portals in your feet, allowing you to root and ground completely into the crystalline core of Sophia Gaia. And we're going to let that root all the way through the leg, all the way through. Take a deep breath. We'll allow this to also move up. I'm going to bring a field around you of pure prime creator. We're going to call forward the highest and most profound miracles and healing miracles take place. It's now a divine moment according to divine law and order and the will of the Oversoul. And we're going to ask for all that no longer serves you to simply release with grace and ease. I want you to imagine little particles like dirt just floating out of your body. You don't have to know what they are. It's limits, limitations, judgments, worthiness, programs. And we're going to replace this with pure prime creator. So I'm going to bring a field, a very thick plasmic field around you. So just sinking you into this plasmic field. And this is really just to bring a sense of comfort. It's going deep within the quantum level of the cellular body that communicate to the DNA. Take a deep breath. I'm going to take this into your nervous system. I'm just awakening that crystalline frequency within the nervous system. That's good. I'm going to bring it all the way up and through the entire body. The entire central and peripheral nervous system, brainstem, brain. Becoming very, very bright white. And then I'm just going to align you with that crystalline grid network of Gaia. Take a deep breath. Take a bigger breath. Big, big breath. Bigger breath. Really big, big breath. Letting go. It's good. Big breath. It's good. Let it out. Big breath. Big, big breath. Another big, big breath. It's safe to be me. It's safe to be free. It's safe to let go. It's safe. I am safe. Safe for me to be free. It's safe to let go. Safe to be me. Safe for me to let go. It's safe for me to be me. It's safe to be free. I am that. Oh. It is done, it is so, it is done, it is so. I am free. I am free. Your crown's completely open to Prime Creator, your root into Sophia Gaia is above, is below, is below, is above. So just bringing this into this present moment for you, and the emotions are good. It's good. Okay. Okay. I'm feeling it's good. Letting all those emotions is good. I felt a connection taking place. So I would encourage you to get in water, drink a lot of water, be in water, float in water, get in the shower, and allow for this to be shifted. Allow for this to let go. You don't have to carry it anymore. Allow for it to move. As I feel that it's, I do feel it's ready. It's up to you. Remember, I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not diagnosing, but I can feel. Okay.
Thank you so much, Cathleena.
You're welcome. I'm sending so much love to you and support. And you're not alone. You're just not. Just know that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mansa.
Thank you, Yvette. Sending you much love. Yeah, Cherish, it's on you. Thank you for your vulnerability. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for showing up.
And for the group process, how long it will take approximately?
Yeah, let's move into the group process, because we've been doing a lot for everyone. I mean, everything that I'm doing is benefiting everyone. Well,
yeah, just as a suggestion, can we talk about the process and then we end with the process? Can we talk about the special offer and then we end with the process?
Sure.
That way everyone can stay in that energy.
Sure.
Yeah, I will just bring the link. So everyone, I invite you to visit the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Cathleena, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Cathleena, CATHLEENA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. Also, I'm pushing the link on the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube, and the link also on YouTube video description. So yeah, so Cathleena, I would love if you can tell us about this program.
Yeah, so this one is one in the series of the Brain and Body series on my website, and this one is Judgment, right? I think it's the one in Judgment that I gave you. So it's restoring the original soul fragmentation and releasing the imprint of judgment from the brain and body. So I take you each week, and they're pre-recorded, but everything I do is in the 0 point, so that no matter when you listen, they're in the present moment. Each time you listen, they're brand new, so they're going to continue to release through your body. So this is working through the body systems and the brain of the restoring the original soul fragment and releasing the imprint of judgment. And judgment is a huge piece, within your energetic field. And as I described, because we're communicating to the body, the physical body is the representation of what's taking place in your life. So when we release these imprints from all the various different body systems, then we, can release it from our physical life, because we don't realize how these things are playing out. So that's what the series is. It's pre-recorded, so you can download it. Well, it's on my website, so you'll have a membership. You'll go to the membership area. And so, yeah, I think package A is just the course, and they're 9 weeks. So there's 9 sessions. People always ask me how, I should listen to them. I suggest you use your intuition. I think most people, I would suggest once a week, listen to it, and you can listen to it more than once during that week. Some people maybe a couple during the week, but most of the time I think once a week. And package B also includes a session with me. And so what you can expect in a session is kind of similar to some of the things that I've been doing here. Those that know me know that I always ask, what brings you here? And so I do some dialogue. And as I said, I'm not arbitrarily talking to you. I'm in your energetic field. I'm able to look at your entire field, past, present, future, other lifetimes, the geometries of your field, your physical body, the energy, all sorts of different things. And it's all catered to you, into whatever is in your energetic at the moment.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Cathleena. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing your work, your guidance and supports, because it's, as you say, like we are called like more and more to step into our true power, because everything is changing, and also we are called to change the way we interact with reality and ourselves, and helping to bring back to the 0 points is like you mentioned earlier in the call, can really change the way we live our life. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and I
for
highly
support.
recommend that anybody do all these sessions, because they're just really beneficial. It's an opportunity to release that quantum entanglement that's deep within your energetic field. I mean, I'm working on so many different levels through the light language and through a lot of different things. So it's I think it's important for anyone.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, thank you so much, Cathleena. Very grateful to you. And everyone, I invite you to sign up for one of these 2 packages. The first one includes the 9-week course, and the second one includes the course plus one-on-one private session with Cathleena, which is a 15-minute session. And again, the link is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Cathleena, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Cathleena, CATHLEENA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. Also the link on YouTube video description and the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. And yeah, so Jill, she wrote, yes, the programs are a life changer too. Thank you, Jill. And yeah, so can we do the group process?
Yes.
When you finish, of course.
Yeah, let me put my water down here.
Yeah.
Drink a lot of water.
Take your time.
Okay, so yeah, if everybody wants to close their eyes and take some deep breaths. And I'm actually going to change the sound. I didn't do that for the others, but I want to make sure you get all the nuances. Isa ko hima papatelo ko shinamori loko mero babaka o papa sino loko de mesero gitara como washita yusumino ila pamailo ko tabara ko smina batala ako kosine leke de poshimino ko tira ko kosimino papa bo amana ito te mesira pas. Masito nina de keda apa mo o kasaneto mo sinamatata. Amole de kasaneto mo shumana vatara ko papa sinera ketera con nuestra pasma. Amote tara con metara ko simera tara mo kos. Take some deep breaths. Release all entities, energies, inorganic frequencies, inorganic technologies, inorganic timelines, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum. From my conscious, subconscious, and cellular memory, take a deep breath. Eko ameda akas eni loki mishnina kadama kopa pas eni koi mishnina. Release all inorganic influences into the mind matrix. I'm going to disconnect to the greatest degree of my oversoul in this present moment, the mind matrix, from the physical brain, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum. I want you to take a deep breath. I'm going to disconnect this from the skull, from the top of the brain. We clear all mind channels, emotional and physical channels, only aligning to the Earth's original grid system, the center of the Milky Way and pure prime creator. So open you completely to prime creator. And open up the portals in your feet to the crystalline core of Sophia Gaia, as above is below, as below is above. I see komi pati la komatatayo sumina sumana batatana mapapasi no kinamaraki ilo komina tarakete pashmina. Asapapasino de pepas. I'm going to drop you into the crystalline core of Gaia, calibrating, integrating all elements, earth, fire, air, water, ether, and the diamond blue plasmic flame of the sixth element to all aspects of self, mental, physical, spiritual, etheric. Calibrating, integrating the quantum level of the carbon DNA to the crystalline DNA, to your original human blueprint, your original human genome, your I am presence. Awakening your blueprint, awakening your I am presence, your reason for being here, moving through the geometries of your DNA, awakening the quantum level of your DNA to aspects of your higher self, to your oversoul, to the greatest degree in this present moment. Awakening your guidance system. Taking away fear, judgment, doubt. I'm going to shift your natural guidance system from the brain to the heart, to the brain to the heart to the brain. The communication is going heart to brain. And I'm going to calibrate all senses to the heart: eyes, ears, taste, touch, smell. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take a deep breath. Close all portals, gateways, pathways, meridians, stargates, wormholes of any access to my energy, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum from my conscious, subconscious, and cellular memory. Take a deep breath. So continue to allow this calibration. So releasing all the victim-victimizer frequencies, holographic inserts, conscious traps, reversal timeline loops, any 5G sonic frequencies, coded or viral frequencies. Okay, so this activation is going to continue for you. So as you continue to drop into that 0 point, as you continue to let go and allow yourself that presence, this is going to continue to alchemize to a different degree. I would suggest that you journal. I think that you're going to get some information about who you are, and trust it, you know, even if it seems off the wall or whatever, write it down. Certainly, if you choose to work with me, bring it with you in session when you come into the session, and we'll take a look at what's taking place. I feel like this particular activation was brought forward to awaken your gifts in a different way that I'm familiar with at this present moment. So it was very, very powerful, and it's brought this into the collective through this medium as well. So anybody who will continue to listen to it, and certainly just through the medium. So a lot of geometry is taking place through here. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Cathleena. Yeah, this was a really powerful process. And like both like the process and what you shared, like the whole call, it was, how to say, it was very powerful. And I feel that it brought so much relief, and also helped to release maybe so much burden that we've been holding on to, and to come back to more to the 0 point. So thank you for that. And
You're welcome.
Christina, she wrote, amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
She also wrote, this was exactly what I've needed in alignment. Tatiana, thank you, Cathleena. Jasmina or Jasminka, thank you so much, Cathleena and Monsef. This was very profound. Lots of love. Sandra, thank you so much. Love and blessings. Stuart, wow, thank you. Danny, thank you so much for your time and all. So much joy. Thank you from Jill. Dima, this was amazing, Cathleena. Eva, thank you, Cathleena. Joshua, lots of emojis. Aliandra, great love and gratitude. Vivian, thank you, Cathleena.
Yeah,
Dima penetrated me deep inside, blessings. Cherry, with gratitude and much love, quantified. Don, thank you very much, Cathleena, Monsef, and everyone. I am grateful. Madalena, thank you so much. I am very grateful for what I've received in this session. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Anita on YouTube, thank you so much. That was beautiful. Iriata, she asked if there is availability soon for an appointment for the one-on-one session.
I'm sorry?
Iriata, she wrote if there is soon availability for one-on-one session.
That I don't know what is in my calendar. Now, anybody who, feel free to send me an email once you schedule. You know, I can, no promises, and certainly if you have flexibility in your schedule, I often look to see if there's something else closer for people. So just know that that's an option, but you have to have flexibility in your schedule, and it's not a guarantee, but I am open to that.
One more question about this session. Miriam, group process, very centering. Will a session help me release any reasons I created the accidents and all related injuries?
Yes, I think during the session we have ability to go in deeper, and it's, you know, the sessions are you. It's basically, you know, you're communicating with your oversoul and your higher self. So depending on what your willingness is, there's lots of different things that take place. So, you know, think of me as a mirror. Is this something else that you may want to take into consideration, all of you, is that imagine that every person in your reality is an aspect of you. And that will change the way in which you engage with others. So I am an aspect of you, here to share with you your own magnificence.
Yeah,
Just know
beautiful.
that.
Thank you so much, Cathleena. Again, so grateful to you. Yeah, that was really special because I really love this. Very powerful one.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
love your energy too, Mansa. Thank you. I think
Thank you.
it's great to connect with you as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And yeah, also everyone, thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you for your co-creation, whether live or on the replay. Thank you for your beautiful comments, and also for those who asked their questions, and for your vulnerability. And again, I invite you to sign up for one of the 2 packages that Cathleena is offering to us. And the link again is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Cathleena, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Cathleena, CATHLEENA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page, the link on YouTube video description, and also on the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. And yeah, so with that, everyone, I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.
Take care.